Alright, welcome back to another Art Time episode. Today we are going to be working on a Demon Realm demon from the Void. So, as per usual, if you find yourself enjoying the video, please leave a like and, of course, subscribe for more. Now then, we are going to be drawing a Demon Realm demon. Its name, as you probably saw from the title, is the Ribcracker. Which is, technically it's using its ribs to crack the ribs of other demons and consume it into its little, spine, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, this demon of which we are drawing is a strange one, for it looks like a strange skull of some form, with a bunch of holes in it. Although, I don't know if those holes in it actually, have anything. It's hard to tell because, I've shown you it before in previous ones, JPEGs. What we're drawing right here. These guys right here. So we're trying to go on ahead and, do it better this time around. Now, better as in, more precise, larger, showing more of the demon than, smaller area. The demon's face is just, full of holes and stuff like that. So, obviously, there's not too much that we have to do to the demon itself. If anything, I'd say it's going to take us, 2 hours to get this done with. Not bad if I do say so myself. Or maybe even less than that, who knows? Because this particular demon that we're drawing isn't really that complex, and it's not going to take us too long to make. And, of course, with the Void being what it is, there really isn't going to be a whole lot in the way of a background here now, is there? But that's fine. It's fine because we are, doing our thing. Anyway, guess I can go on ahead and tell you the mature drawing that we did a little while ago, which somehow turned into a freaking game concept. So any of y'all's on DeviantArt who's come here from DeviantArt, or who's not come here from DeviantArt, go on ahead and check it out. You probably don't have the thing for, mature filters on. Well, off, I should say. How are you wearing that? But I somehow came up with this game concept. And the character in question, the main character that you play as in it, is Haley Pound. Now, I will say this is a parody name. To whom? Well, you're just going to have to guess. But this name here is a parody name. And I will let you guys try to guess, before we go into the conversation of this game in question. I think I could open up the gallery for it. Well, not gallery, I need to open up the gallery. The drawing is still right here, alongside all the other mature, well, not probably only showing it because of me, for obvious reasons. But anyways, yeah, so here we are. The introduction starts with, your main character, Haley, in school. I believe 18 in senior years, yep. In the largest school in America. In other words, the game itself and the map itself is supposed to be quite big. They're, filled with puzzles and crafting materials and loot and whatnot. And the game starts off when, if I remember correctly, Haley's favorite teacher, Miss Himari, Himari, yeah. Ooh, what's this? I already have that favorited. Okay, yeah, that's nice. Anyways, this teacher, Miss Amari, somehow died. And this is when everything started to kick off. If I remember correctly, a whole bunch of missing persons report had occurred. I believe it was students and teachers were going missing, and the school was temporarily shut down. So, Haley, being the smart girl that she is, and is capable of, solving these particular kinds of mysteries, might not be as smart in the situation that she's about to go into, decided to prepare to go into the school with nothing but backpack and a flashlight, a mini backpack and a flashlight. And I think she had a couple of batteries. What's this? I don't know what that is, but there's apparently a sister. Anywho's in which, yeah. So when she gets to the school at the dead of night, government official equipment is seen lying around the place. Let me see, is this yeah, this is more of one of these than it is, what do you call it? So, without a question of what's going on, Haley enters the front door, I believe, of the school, and sees that the hallway is abandoned, eerie, with a spooky, foggy ambience. Immediately, she thought to turn around, and decided that she might be in over her head, and as soon as she turned around, the door was gone, replaced by a solid wall. Unfortunately, she was stuck within school. And that's the start of it. There's more to it, and I think I can remember most of this off the top of my head. So, the gameplay is similar to Resident Evil 4, minus the ability to kill anything, except for a certain type of threat. But you have an inventory system, and that's a part with the backpack here. If I remember correctly, let me see here. Equipment. I don't think I said how much she had on her at the time. Oh yeah. Upon entering the school, she has 2 batteries for a flashlight. Yeah, that's right. 2 batteries for her flashlight. And her backpack space is an 8x5 block space. So it's similar to how Resident Evil's inventory system works in 4 and 8. Not 8. Yeah, 8, because 9 hasn't come out yet, sadly. That's essentially like the inventory system in this. So the flashlight that Haley has, I believe, lasts 30 minutes. Yep, 30 minutes per battery life for the flashlight. The lasting flashlight. And it's 30 minutes is like not in-game time, real life time. So obviously, when you have this air flashlight, you can use it for quite some time. There might be occasions where you don't need it as much, which might be a good thing to have and to have off sometimes if you want to try to avoid being seen by most of the threats. But it's still good to want to have it to see where you're going. Is that too big? It could be a little bit smaller. Anyways, yes. Flashlights. It helps you see in the dark, but the threats around you can go on ahead and use that as a beacon to try to find ye. So, when you're hiding, or when you're in an area where there's certain threats, you want to try to ensure that the flashlight stays off. And obviously the flashlight button, trigger, or whatever the hell it is. And, I don't know. Keyboard would be F, but I don't exactly remember what the flashlight would be. Probably D? Nah, I don't know what the D-pad. We'll see. If we were to ever do anything with that. Anyways, Yeah, that's the flashlight. Turn it off when you're hiding, or when you don't want the threat to see you. I'm gonna rotate this a bit, actually. And use it to get around dark spaces, which can be helpful on occasions, but it depends on where the dark space is. Say if you're in a dark space with a specific type of threat, well, let's just say that you're not going to have a fun time trying to evade them. It depends on how fast some of them are. Anywho's in wits. So, if any of y'all see the drawing, Haley has this collar around her neck, and it has like this gemstone embedded into it. This right here is her health collar. We'll explain more about its mechanics soon enough, but the health collar in question here has a few color states, well, more than a few color states, but it has a decent amount of color states that determines where Haley's health is at. Teal is, the maximum, while black means she's dead. So, obviously, the order of which the color goes is teal, green, yellow, orange, red, and black. Now, it's pretty obvious, like, what the color percentages means when you think about it. Teal is 100% health, green is 75 and in between. I should do a different one. Yellow is 50 and in between. Orange is 25 and in between. And red is not 0 entirely, but in between. While black is 0. So, it's a pretty simple system to get, like, through your head. And I'll talk about how the damage of the enemies work later. But that's how you can tell the state of health that Haley is currently in. Alright, what's next? Okay, now here's something that I think is pretty unique. In the game, later on, probably a little after like the early sequence, and once you've like snuck around a few of the enemies, a few of the threats, you will come across the slingshot. And now the slingshot over here is, it comes with its own, like, holster, so it doesn't take up backpack space like, most pistols and stuff and weaponry do in Resident Evil. Because that's, like, literally the only piece of, like, quote-unquote weaponry you have. Despite the fact that you can't necessarily kill anyone other than a certain type of threat, which we will talk about soon enough. So the slingshot has 4 different types of ammunition, and we'll talk about them a little bit. But this is the ammunition that the slingshot utilizes. One of which is the salt shot, the other one is a flash shot, and the third one being the smoke shot, and the last one being the UV shot. Now we'll explain about them in a bit, but that's the slingshot and utilizing all the stuff that it utilizes. Next is the UV flashlight, which only has like one specific purpose, which is used to dispatch a certain type of threat, which we will talk about soon enough. The video camera, oh wait, I should talk about the battery life of it. I believe the battery life for the UV flashlight is 5 minutes, correct? Let me look around. And the batteries take... Okay, so I don't think I mentioned this before, but the batteries for your flashlight takes up a 1x2 space for the original flashlight, while the UV flashlight's batteries takes up a 2x2 space. I think it says 5... Where is it? Isn't it not here? Oh yeah, that's right. The original flashlight has a range of 10 meters in front of ye, while the UV flashlight has a range of 4 meters in front of ye. I don't remember where the time was for this. Here it is. Yes, 5 minutes. Batteries only last 5 minutes for a UV flashlight, which kind of makes sense when you think about it. Next up is the video camera. The video camera is useful because you needed to see a specific type of threat. I'm pretty sure you might already know what that is. And there is a specific upgrade you can get for this that's, I think, kind of mandatory to get. I don't exactly know, like, the order of which things would go. All I know is that that's where everything is set. But the things of which that you have right there, the upgrade that you can get for the video camera is night vision, which is a vitally important thing to have in a certain point in the game. So going through it, find the upgrade, and you've got night vision, and its batteries is 1x1 space, I believe. I think. Can't really find it around here. Yep, 1x1 space. And the batteries for the night vision upgrade is essentially 10 minutes. So it's not, it's not bad. You don't find yourself in dark spaces too often, and you can use a flashlight still. And the perk with the night vision camera is you don't have to worry about enemies, like, using your camera as a beacon to try to find ye. But, battery life not that good. Space is good, though. But I'd have to imagine something like that would be a little bit more difficult to get. These batteries you can only find. You cannot craft them. I believe I said that around here somewhere. And next up, there's a detonator. And a detonator is simple, really. There's certain traps you can craft that requires remote detonation. Kind of important if you have, like, certain things that can't, like, get tripped by a tripwire on. Okay, we're about to get to the coloring process, I think. These guys aren't that complicated. I'm gonna make your body a little bit more like this. Most of the demons in the Void aren't that complicated. I think I need to draw these guys and then make a new set of Void demons somewhere towards the end of this limitation period, and then make them, like, look more detailed and decorated, of course. Anyways, yeah, that's the detonator has a 30-meter range, and yeah, it detonates the first trap you place, and you can only have 3 traps out at once with detonatable things. So yeah, there are items. We already talked about the batteries. Flashlight batteries take a 1x2 space. UV flashlight batteries take 2x2 space, and NVD batteries, night vision batteries, take up a 1x1 space. And then there's the slingshot ammunition. Before we talk about the slingshot ammunition, actually, I want to talk about the threats. I'm going to scroll down to the threats for a second. So there are 3 different types of threats that you have to deal with within this here cursed school. Demon, spirit, and a revenant. Now, demons are your typical, enemies. Some are slow and shambling, but some of them can be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Fast and tenacious. But if I remember correctly, demons deal the base damage, which is like 25% of your health, 1 color down. Once you get to 75, your health turns green. 50, your health turns yellow. 25, your health turns orange. Or should it turn red? I guess it depends. Because I did say 1 color bar, but if it was to go a lot down like that, I don't know. Because technically it was like, 4 hits and you're close to death? Or maybe it doesn't, like, immediately kill you and it brings you down to 1 health. Like health gain. Yes, of course, health gain. If you're in the orange and you get 1 hit of damage... Well, no, if you're in the orange and you get 1 hit of damage, like, say if you're on, like, 25% health and you get hit on what would be 25%, it'll go down to 1 instead. Let's see here. Void, Demon. Grab the Blip Head, maybe. Or do I want to grab the Shadow Watcher? I guess, yeah. Basic what? Anyways, where was I? Yes. So the demons, they deal 1 color's worth of damage, bringing your health bar down to the next color. What are you doing, cat? And when you hide from demons, there's a few things you need to take into consideration. Hiding in lockers from demons, and they see you going into the locker, they will not be able to get to you within said locker. I guess this is holes, isn't it? Yeah, they won't be able to get to you within those lockers. I'll combine these, and then I'll do this, and then hopefully this. There we go. Now the cat's playing with her toy. Anyway, yeah, they can't get to you inside of the lockers or the hollowed out closets. They'll bang on the door for like a few seconds, but upon being unable to get into there, they will go on ahead and go back to their wandering path, do their thing. But if you're hiding underneath, say, a desk or a bench, and the demon sees you go under there, they will drag you out of there and deal 2 color points of damage. Yeah, like so. I guess it makes sense, because the enemies have to grab you in order to kill you. And this, unlike most Resident Evils where the enemies are freaking grabbing you, and this when the enemies swipe at you, the threats swipe at you, because it doesn't exactly matter what I call them. The threats swipe at you, which deals damage, and then once you get to a certain point in health, they'll grab you and kill you. So, let's see here. Well, I guess it depends. If you're hiding and they grab you, it's an immediate death. I didn't really, explain that. Why am I calling it head? I didn't really explain that because I didn't think about that at the time. There's so much to put in there. You know how much we put in there? A whole lot. But yeah, it would make sense. They gotta grab you in order to kill you. But, we'll, refine on it if I were to ever get to a point where I can actually make it into a full-on game. Health goes down to 1 or 0. Health gates at 1, and you are in a perpetual state of pain. Anywho, yeah, when your health is in the red, the demons are capable of grabbing you. And at this point, if they were to grab you, you're dead. You will suffer a gruesome death, which is something to take into consideration as to what is going to occur within this game. There's probably going to be a decent amount of gruesome deaths. And screaming. Lots and lots of screaming. So you're going to want to avoid it as much as possible if you don't want to be scarred for life. Alright. So that's the demon. They do 1 color worth of damage. And double the damage if they pull you out of a bench or what do you call it, hiding spot. So you want to try to avoid, having them see you go in underneath those as best as you can. And then there's the spirit. I guess I could talk about the, what do you call it, stuff as soon as we are done with here. Then there's the spirit. Stop scratching that. Stop it. The spirit is basically an invisible enemy. And you're only able to see them if you have a video camera. So, if you don't have the video camera, you're going to have to be very careful in an area that has spirits. You might be able to hear them faintly. You might be able to have some form of sensation that something is wrong. But you will not be able to see them, and you will only be able to have some form of feeling that they are close, but you don't know how close, you don't know where. LM. Alright. So spirits, they too, I believe, only do like 1 color's worth of damage. But if they see you go into a hiding spot, if they see you go into a hiding spot, they'll phase through it and get to Haley. And they'll do a massive 3 colors worth of damage. 75% of damage. If you're in teal, you'll be able to survive it, but you're going to be in a very bad state. Because even if you can't survive it, you might not be able to outrun them. And what's worse about these guys is when, let's see. Yeah, if you can't take that, it's game over. Ah, yes, that's right. Spirits can grab Haley when she's in the orange, while his demons can only grab her when she's in the red. So if your health is underneath half health, which I think that's the case, you, my friend, are liable to get grabbed and killed. Spirits are very dangerous. Even more so dangerous because if you're in the dark, like pitch black dark areas, the school itself isn't like entirely dark. When I'm talking about pitch black, I mean if you have your flashlight on, this is all you see. Not this thing. This is all you see. This is your vision, completely pitch black. And let me get rid of that layer now. Also, I'm in this process now, so I might as well do this. So if you're in an area like that where you have to use a flashlight or night vision to be able to see, and if the spirits, get to you, they will deal double the damage, which is terrible, because that means they are 50% of damage, which means I think you'll be in the yellow, I think? Because it's green when it goes to 75. Unless... that would make more sense, actually. But then again, if you were to... no, wait, yeah. Because you go down to 75, it goes to yellow. Because it just same how like Resident Evil does it. There's like a teal-esque color on the, this thing, that thing part. There's a teal-esque color in that. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can grab up an image. Resident Evil 2 Remake Health Bar. I want to see the colors. There are like different types of colors, right? I didn't really think about putting poison in this. I might decide to put poison or some form of damage over time effect that requires a cure, but I feel like having it just be base damage and something basic without having any, because poison doesn't even barely get used within the remakes. Okay, I can't find the color, what he calls here. Yeah, you got flying, caution, and danger. When this, you got the colors there. So yeah, I guess that would make sense. If you use up some of the health bar, teal is the one you'll see the most. Green you'll find, and it'll tell you that, oh yeah, here I am in this particular instance. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get a good, going real quickly. This entire video is just going to be us talking about this game concept that I'm never going to be able to get made because I don't have the ability to do so. So let me see, what would be a good teal color? Wouldn't be that. It would be more like somewhere along the lines of that. With this being in between 75 and 100. this being around 50, not the exact colors, need I mind you, but a general idea. This being like, you know, under the 50, wait, no, 100, in between 75 and 100, in between 50 and 75, in between 25 and 50, in between 0 and red, and of course, black. It probably wouldn't be pitch black. It would probably be like a tiny bit more. That's what I would think the color scheme would look close to. Distinguishable so you can see on the collar. If it's a pale green, you're 100% like teal. If it's a green like this, you're below 100, but a little over 75. If it's yellow, you're below 75, but over 50. If it's orange, you're below 50 and over 25. If it's red, you're under 25 and are getting very close to death. Something like that, you know? And let me delete that work path here and show ye. So that would be the basic system here. So I guess it would make sense. You get hit once, you're in the yellow. Hit again, you're in the orange. Hit once more, you're in the red. One more, if you get grabbed there, you're dead. So if you get hit by 50, you go straight to orange. And then you can get grabbed by a spirit, and then you're going to suffer a very painful and excruciating death. And I think the only, like, quote-unquote sexual death in this is involving Miss Himari. I think her name was. I've forgotten. I don't know why her name is so hard for me to remember. Yes, Miss Himari. Because if you've seen the drawing, you will understand, oh, well that's... Okay, yeah, I understand. I understand the description there, because there's a little backstory happening in this particular instance with this lady. She wasn't really a good girl. She was... Let's just say... I don't even think Chris Hansen would be able to get her to sit down. Because she also is killing adults. And there's lore to be said around here. I guess I can talk to y'all about the lore. But before I talk to you about the lore, let me talk about the revenants. Because I was talking about the demons and the spirits, but there's still the revenants to talk about. So revenants are essentially giant, giant. They're big. They're fast, and they patrol an entire area. Revenants are usually, easy to, listen out for, to know, if there is a revenant nearby. There's an aura that also tells you that, yes, there is a revenant nearby. Miss Himari is a special revenant, one that's not affected, as most of the other revenants are in this game. And these revenants over here are the big baddies of their own respective areas. While Miss Himari is able to go anywhere and has a set chance of spawning in place of the revenant that was, in a certain area. There won't be more than one revenant in an area at a time, obviously, because that would not be fun. Getting pincered in between two revenants and then just being torn apart in half because they're one trying to feed upon her and don't want that one revenant trying to I don't know what there's one or a few revenants that probably just eat, tear apart. I think most of them are just eat and tear apart, while the spirits are just possess and kill by any means possible. But revenants are fast, strong, and aren't really affected by a whole lot of things that you can do to them. We'll talk about that later. But revenants can one-shot you. No matter what, they will one-shot you. And let me see here for a second. Down here. The only way to escape from Revenant's chase is to get out of its line of sight and hide. This works for some Revenants, but others are capable of phasing through walls. You can poke their head in through the walls. Yeah, if a Revenant casts a Haley, it's an immediate game over no matter where her health is at. So avoid them at all cost. Those guys suck. They're like, consider them like the Mr. X, except they're faster and they insta-kill you. And you get a pretty terrible death scene as well, depending on what Revenant is chasing you. But those things are no joke. You don't want to go up against a Revenant. And it's kind of sucks because there's really no way to like combat against any of this. If you were a Resident Evil character, well, even so, I think lore-wise, yeah, we can talk about lore-wise. The government within this area obviously came in and couldn't really stop any of the threats coming in or happening throughout the entirety of this here school. And these threats, you know, they don't look phased or like they were in any form of battle. It's safe to assume that bullets don't work on them, so even if you did have guns, I don't think you would be able to kill them. They're not like the zombie virus or all that other parasite stuff that's been going on in recent Resident Evil. No, they're just spirits and demons and revenants. They are not really alive, so to speak. Except the spirits can be killed by one particular meme. One that I don't think actually makes sense, but I like the gameplay aspect of one of the things being able to, like, completely dispatch a type of enemy. Not all of them, yeah, mind you. And spirits aren't necessarily, like, that high in number. I guess there could be, like, some spirits in certain areas topped off with demons. So you also have to deal with a spirit and a demon in the area, so if you can get, like, certain... I'll tell you about it, actually. We're about at the point now where we should talk about the slingshot stuff. Well, not the slingshot stuff, but the stuff that of which is used to essentially combat against these threats. So let me go on over to the slingshot ammunition, because I think this is where everything about that was talked about. So short shots are like the most common ammunition you get for this, you know, particular slingshot. And it's actually rather useful. Shut up. Salt shots stun demons for a few seconds, I believe. I think I said it here, right? Shut up. Yeah, a few seconds. Most of the stuff that affects the demons lasts for like 3 seconds, I believe. Yeah. While the Revenants, they're different. Shush. No, I gotta go down here. Yeah, this one is a second, that one's also a second. And that one, okay. So, yeah, Revenants, though, things that affect them duration-wise is, where is it? Here it is 1 second. Okay, I think that's, is that? No, I'm not that hole there. I'm gonna go over to the Shadow Watcher and see what I did with the bones here. What text did I get the bones? Cracked? I see. So salt shots. Now let's go back to that. Salt shots will stun demons for a grand total of 3 seconds. While when up against a spirit, I don't think that does anything to them, right? Yeah, it's useless against spirits. But Revenants, it's only useful against stopping a Revenant's attack. So if a Revenant is about to attack you, and if you know, like, when their wind-up time for attack is, you shoot a short shot, slingshot at one of them if you know you're not going to be able to get away, and you'll halt their attack. They'll reel back a bit, which will give you some time to try to escape and get out of dodge. Next is a flash. I guess we can just talk about like the types and not the shots themselves. With flash related stuff, it is capable of blinding demons for a few seconds, while it's only capable of blinding revenants for a second. And spirits, I think they're just slowing down by it, but by how much? Yeah, only slowing down spirits. Probably about the same length as the demons. I forgot to put that in there. But I guess it's fine. So yeah, salt is useless against spirits, but flash slows them down but doesn't blind them. It's like the light kind of slows them down a tiny bit, but it's not enough to fully kill them yet. Next up is smoke. Smoke will slow down demons for 3 seconds, while they will only be able to slow down revenants for a second. I believe smoke is this... Yeah, that can't be seen through those. I believe smoke will stun spirits, however, for a short duration. So, spirits have like a completely different system. Smokes will stun them, salts will stun demons, and barely anything... well, yeah, I guess it depends. Blinding revenants and slowing down revenants. I mean, blinding them will slow them down a tiny bit as well, but will also allow you to escape without them seeing where you're going, so long as you can get out of view within a second. Slowing them down allows you to slow them down entirely, unless you were to have like a blind and smoke combo. Blind them, smoke them, and slow them down even further. I guess you could. If you were to like go on ahead and mix different types, then you might be able to like completely slow down, as long as you can if you can get the timing right to where the smoke and the flash hits the revenant all at once. It'll be like this: smoke go off, flash go off, they slow down a bit, you go turn the corner, they can't see you, go inside a room, they get to the T-bone junction, look both ways, and at that point they don't know where you went, so they're going to move randomly in whatever direction they think you could have went. It's a 1 in 3 chance. If you get unlucky enough for them to go into your spot, well, sorry bro. But they might not be able to find you that easily. And lastly is UV related stuff. UVs are useless against demons and most revenants, but it's capable of killing off spirits. The only issue with that is it takes a lot to kill a spirit. Let me see if I can read off what it is to take how long it takes to kill a spirit. It takes 5 UV shots, 10 seconds with the UV light, or I should say, or 3 UV flash traps in order to kill off a spirit, I should say. I actually should edit that, because that would be a bit too much if that was all supposed to be used at the same freaking time. That is not right. That is not right at all. Or 3 UV traps. Yeah, because that's a lot of equipment being used. That's a whole lot of equipment being used just to be able to kill a spirit, which I guess can be useful. It clears out the area. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here it is. Let's repeat. It could take 5 UV shots, 10 seconds with the UV flashlight, or 3 UV flash traps in order to kill off a spirit. Let's just say that a second deals 10 points of damage. Say if they got 100. UV shots deal 20 per hit, and flash traps, well, if it takes 3, maybe 40? I don't know. But take all that information, put them together, and what do you got? Very pain in the ass to kill enemy that's probably not even worth killing. And plus, what's worse is, once you put any form of UV light on the spirit, they become enraged. And they deal 2 colors worth of damage. They'll be more persistent, faster, and thankfully, they will become visible during this process. So once you start blasting your UV rays at them, you will be able to see them. But you have to be very quick and very careful on killing them, because that's a 2-hit kill. This game is no joke. Enemy gets their hands on you, they're gonna rip Haley to shreds. Poor girl's not gonna stand a chance against these monsters. especially considering the fact that there's a lot of very gory deaths. So, you don't want that to happen. Anywho's and what's, yeah, that's the stuff you get. And the 4 main stuff you can utilize. But aside from that, in slingshot form, there's also traps. Salt traps, flash traps, and smoke traps, I believe, are all tripwire based, while UV flash traps and sound traps are detonatable and only detonatable because of obvious reasons. There's only those 2 are the only ones that are detonatable, while the other ones are not. So alongside that, there's also like salt bombs, smoke bombs. I don't think, yeah, there's no flash bomb. Salt bombs go against demons. Smoke bombs good against pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much good against anything. You got the wards that you can use to protect yourself from a single spirit hit. It won't last long, and it takes 2 seconds to apply one. It runs out, until it lasts for 5 minutes, is what I meant to say. And then the protection will wear out and the ward will disappear. Then there's water bottles that allow your stamina. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about, stamina. It keeps stamina drain and reduces stamina drain and increases stamina rate. Then there's energy bars that give you stamina back. Doesn't have any effects in regen or drain. And then there's energy drinks that not only decrease the stamina drain, but also increases Haley's speed. So it is good to want to have energy drinks, to go on ahead and do the things that you need to do. Pretty much just the only things you can't craft in this list is energy bars and energy drinks for obvious reasons. And they're all the crafting materials, but I don't really need to talk about that. What I want to talk about next is the stamina mechanic. Have you ever seen a horror protagonist run for a long... Ooh, I need to put this void in. Have you ever seen a horror protagonist run for a long time and efficiently as well? Well, that's what Haley is capable of doing. So stamina in this game works completely different from most games. It's not a system where you have a bar like... It's not a system where you have a bar like so that slowly drains when you use up stamina. Oh, I ran for a few seconds and now I'm tired. No, that's not how that works. The way stamina works in this game is like this. You run like so. You're still running. Still running. Yep, you are still running. Cut to 4 minutes later. Oh man, we're still running. Whoo boy. And you stop. You stop, take a breath. Stamina slowly goes back up. But there are ways to improve upon this. Well, if you're standing still, stamina will go up. Let me look back. Okay, let's see. But when you're walking, or if you're near a threat, or if you are crouching and going into hiding, your stamina will go up. Your stamina will go up at a slow rate, probably around like right here. But if you're standing, goes up a little bit faster. If you're sitting, goes up a tiny bit faster. And if you're in a safe room, boop, you get to where you need to go to. And you're going ahead and go get yourself like drinks of water. It reduces this and have that goes up. I don't remember how long the effects last. I did not do a double check. I didn't say how long it lasted, but you gotta make purifier. You gotta make a purifier, which is cloth and charcoal, in order to purify the tainted water, because the school for some reason has tainted water. Yeah, I forgot to say how fast it takes for that to like slowly disintegrate. Let's just say 3 minutes. Just about that. Okay, where are we? Here we are. So yeah, that's like the stamina system in this game. You can run essentially for 5 minutes straight without like any threats, without anything like chasing you. But, you know, obviously if your health goes lower, we'll talk about that soon enough. If your health goes lower, you will obviously have very little stamina to work with here. Okay, I gotta look at this drawing here for a second to remind myself how these particles were made. Actually, it would probably be easier if I just opened up the Photoshop document to remind myself what I needed for this. It's gonna take a while to like get... here we go, Shadow Watcher. Alright, let me remind myself. Particles, which I think these were the particles, right? Oh no, that's also the particles. Right, I gotta make something big of those. Those are the void flares. Although I'm sure there's little bits of, what do you call it here. And then the void bubbles, those are easy enough. That's soft light, normal, normal 50% for void flares. I'll put this over to the side. Anyways, as I was saying... Oh, wait, you need to be color dynamics, right? So as I was saying... Oh, hold on. There's a certain, like, status effect that occurs when you run out of stamina completely. Your regen tanks by a lot until it reaches halfway. And in this case, when that happens, Haley will take double the damage and is more vulnerable until the state dissipates. Consuming water and energy drinks helps remove this state, while energy bars won't have any effects and can't be used until the status is finished. So the only way for you to be able to get rid of that particular status effect... Let me just make sure this is actually doing its thing here. The only way to get rid of that particular status effect is to consume water or an energy drink. If that status effect occurs at any point during a chase, well, if it happens during a Revenant chase, you're dead no matter what. Haley will just get immediately destroyed. Completely wrecked. Without a chance. So you gotta make sure that that doesn't happen. But if it's like against a demon, I'd say if it's against like a spirit, and if you're hiding in a well, no. If it's against a demon and you're hiding in the under a bench, a demon pulls you out and it's immediately over. Yeah, dang will rip apart with a gnawing of the teeth. Or claws, whatever type of demon you're going up against. Because there are multiple different types of demons. We just don't exactly know the, what do you call it? The exact thing. No, I mean, if I were to, like, actually get into making the game, I would figure it out and get, like, the designs that I want to get. But as it stands right now... There's no reason for me to completely, like, figure that part out. The concept is there, and I can work on it as soon as I get the chance. I'm making my own, what do you call it, void instance instead of, like, bringing over the void from the other drawing instead. And that's how I'm able to bring that UI in. Like, I have the Shadow Watcher, wait, no. I'm going to do this above effect. I have the Shadow Watcher folder here. He's in the exact same spot as he is in this, well, you can't see it because I'm here. The exact same spot as he is in this department. That's how I'm able to bring the UI stuff over. Let me delete that for a quick second. Or I can just reverse that. Bubbles. I know in between the B and an L. How the hell did I do that? Whatever, it's a funny word. Bubbles. Anyways, let me bring this up here so I can grab that easily. And here's what's... Yeah. So I think now's a good time to talk to you about the health and all that stuff, because we are getting close to finishing this. Don't know how close. And we're less than an hour into this video. So yes, teal, we already talked about that, how colors like do the thing, but we'll go in more in depth here. So teal means her stats are unaffected and her body is doing great. When she goes into the green, the only stat that's affected is her max stamina. A 5% decrease. And when she reaches the yellow, her speed is slightly reduced by 5%, while max stamina is reduced by 10%, and stamina regen reduced by 5%. In the orange, her speed is reduced significantly by 10%, max stamina is reduced by 20%, stamina regen by 10, and stamina drain increased by 10. Obviously, it doesn't decrease stamina drain, it increases it when you're in bad shape. And red, of course, is the most life-threatening one. Speed is reduced massively by 25%, so if you're in the red and being chased by something faster than you, you're gonna die. Max stamina reduced by 50%, stamina regen reduced by 25%. Same applies to stamina drain increasing by 25%. Her vision starts to get blurry. You got like a blurry like vision here. Everything starts to like blur in and out. Noises are more muffled. And alongside that, she's off balance. So as she's moving, she's swaying back and forth, barely able to stand on her feet, and feels like the world is somewhat spinning. You're in a certain state of hysteria. Oops. Where you are closing in on death. And if you can't get away from whatever threat is trying to get close to you, you're gonna die. But not to worry, folks, because there are certain items you can utilize that we can talk about here. We talked about the health. Oh, medical packs. Medical packs here are completely different for most games, in a sense. Let me go over to fog, because we are getting very close to finishing this. This is not one of those drawings that takes hours on end. It's a simple drawing. There's the void, there's this thing, and that's it. I am going to try to remake the void when I remake it in its remake drawing, but for now, this is the best we can do. Alright, I am going to... Do I want to use this? Let's see. I think that's around like here, right? That is not it. There we go. Is that it? Yeah, that's just about it. Not entirely. I'll do the fog, and then I'm gonna go on ahead and talk about the medical packs. This one looks like a dark blue, right? Oh wait, no, we're not actually done yet, but I still gotta color in the void, of course. Anyways, bandages are a specific healing item that you use either in the green or in the yellow. It will not work if your health is in the red, and its effects will be half when used in the orange. So you can't use bandages when your health is in the red. Obviously, a bandage when you literally need to have like personal self-surgery just to be able to put some of your guts back. No, it's not that gruesome, but it is definitely not a band-aid fix. No bandage is going to help if you're that badly injured. So realistically, yes, it wouldn't help too much. It would help a tiny bit if it's in the orange, but not by a lot. Bandages heals up 25%. That's one color change. So say if you're in the yellow, I guess in this case, if you're in the yellow, you'll go immediately, because you're like at 75, you'll go immediately in the teal. I guess it depends on if there's like more than want to do there, because there is like one instance like 25% decrease. But what if I want to have green, yellow? What if I do health gate? If I have it at green, that means that it's at 75, but that's at red. I mean, because you can't really use it at orange. You get hit once, use a bandage, and you go up to 75, and you're in the green. If you have 50%, use it at yellow, you'd be at 75 then. If you had 25%, and that's the orange, then you would be at, what do you call it? well, whatever the half of 25% is. So maybe we do that. Maybe we do the health gate instead. It depends. Let's say if you get your health exactly on 0, it health gates you. Yeah, exactly on 0. Okay, so like if you have any body armor on and that's like at like what, 10% decrease, so you go down to 5, it wouldn't matter because if you get hit by a one-hitter, it won't go directly to 0. So if you're on, yeah, that'll work. 0 to 25 is red. And if you get grabbed there, because, like, you're right, demons and spirits will immediately try to grab you once the state has been given to them to do so. Health reaches the red, demons can grab you. Health reaches the orange, which is technically past 50%, then yes. Yes, I get that works. Because then at least that means they hit you, you go to green, then you go to yellow, and one more hit, you go to orange, and that's the 4th hit, right? Because before we were talking about teal going to yellow, which is 1 hit, and then going to orange, so that's a 3-hit kill. So we do it like that, that's a 4-hit kill instead. Alright, there we go. I think we'll do it like that instead. As soon as you go into the red, like, demon hits you, 75%, 1 hit. Demon hits you again, green to orange, or yellow. And 1 more hit, yellow to orange, 1 more hit. You're 0%, but you're in the red and are still somewhat kicking, and 1 more. 5 hits, yeah, that's better. That's way better. At least with, like, enraged demons, because that's like a 50%, so that's taking you down to 50, which would still be yellow. Like if 75 is green, 50 is yellow, 25 is orange, and 0 is red, and then black is once you've been caught and killed, then that means that green, will bring you to yellow instead. So that's a 3-hit. So instead of a 2-hit, it's 3 hits if they are enraged or if they're in the dark. So it doesn't feel too cheap. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Awesome, cool, great, fantastic. And then that at least gives green a freaking purpose instead of just being a late game thing you only see when you get armor reduction. I'm gonna drink orange soda. There's not a whole lot of orange soda left. They bought a bottle instead of cans. That's why I'm drinking it out of this thing. Alright, back up. Obviously, you can't really. All you guys are seeing is this while I'm talking about stuff. First aid kits. Moving on to the next one is healing items when the health color is either yellow or orange. And it'll have its effects halved in red, but you can still use it. And heals are up by 50%. Oh yeah, bandages take 3 seconds to apply, so it would take some time to apply bandages, so make sure you use it when you're not in a chase. It makes it so that you can't just heal up while you're in a chase and just keep taking hits. No, it takes time to apply the bandages. And then there is 5 seconds to use the first aid kits, which makes sense. When you're in the yellow, it's best used in the yellow, because you're essentially wasting it when it's in the green, because you're only 25 health down. Let's just assume that we don't have any damage resistance, and they're only dealing like 25% and whatever the word is, 25, 50, 75, all that stuff. So, using it in the yellow means that you're at 50%, which is good. Orange, that's so 25%, so that means you'd be at 75% and go to the green. What are you looking at, cat? So, yes, of course, that's the best time to use the first aid kits, when you hit yellow or orange. And now trauma kits, these are very useful when your health reaches the red. Trauma kits heal up 75% of Haley's health. And these are the only things that can really bring you back from the brink of death. First aid kits are decent, but it only brings you from red to orange, while trauma kits bring you from red to, oh crap, what is it? Because red, it means that you're like at 0 and are close to death, but not entirely at death yet. No wait, orange, yellow, you'd be a green. You'd be brought from red to green using a trauma kit. And if you have a bandage, you can go on ahead and, use that in green there. It takes 10 seconds to apply, though, obviously, because you gotta tend to a whole lot of shit that happened to you. But it is very useful to have. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the size it takes. Bandages are 1x2 space in the backpack. First aid kits are 2x3, and trauma kits are 3x5. Got a lot of stuff in that there trauma kit. Now here's where it starts to get a little bit more Resident Evil, despite the fact that you only use these to craft the health kits, and it's not juice you pour onto your one arm and somehow magically your entire body is healed up. Now, medicinal herbs, of course, healing items that essentially just top you off and, brings you up by 10%. They're only used in the green, so in the green, it gives you 10%, but in the yellow, it only gives you 5%. It reduces half. It uses half. And once you get to orange and red, you can't use it. Just a little simple remedy. But you can't just stuff your face with medicinal herbs when you're literally on the brink of death. That doesn't work, realistically speaking. We're talking about like a normal 18-year-old high schooler over here who's close to graduation. She has no superpowers. This is the best case scenario that she has. She knows how to do heal up stuff. Of course, not to say that healing all that up isn't going to leave a nasty scar. I would say because it takes, to craft a trauma kit, you need bandages, first aid kits, medicinal herbs, and pills. To craft first aid kits, you need cloth, alcohol, medicinal herbs, and pills. And to craft bandages, you need cloth and alcohol. So in other words, if you want to craft a trauma kit, you need 2 cloth, 2 alcohol, 2 medicinal herbs, and 2 pills. You can't craft herbs, and you can't craft pills. And what pills do, they don't heal Haley, but it numbs the pain and prevents any of the, the effects you get when your health is low for 5 minutes. Which can be useful, because if you're being, let me see here. Taking medicinal herbs only takes like a half a second. Taking pills, where is it? Where's the, taking pills only takes a half a second. So if you are a decent distance away from an enemy, and you're in the red, and you got a bottle of pills in your hands, pop that sucker in, pills here, and run until you can get to real health. You only got 5 minutes, so hopefully you can find a freaking save station. Safe room. But there you go. Takes a lot just to be able to craft health kits. Alright, is there anything here I can talk about while I am doing this? Let me talk about hiding spot. Safe rooms, of course. So safe rooms I can talk about while I'm here. So safe rooms are essentially just like, rooms that none of the demons, revenants, and spirits can get into. Matter of fact, in their point of view, they see you just going through a wall that they can't go through, or they don't know how to get through. They're warded off and preventing any of them from being able to enter, of course. It makes sense in a world like this because everything is kind of like cursed based, dealing with some of the paranormal and stuff. So it would make sense if we had stuff like that to be able to very easily explain off a few things. How come this here giant revenant who's able to fit inside of this small door into the classroom, despite the fact that they're like this freaking big, squeezing their freaking giant ass through this tiny ass door, can't get in this room that I'm going in. Well, my friends, that's because to them that room doesn't exist, and when you go in there, they see you going through a wall. They would be confused as hell too. They don't understand what the hell that means. Some of them probably doesn't even know the words. But yes, that would explain off them not knowing what happened and then going back to their originally scheduled program. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot to shadow you in. So within the safe room, you've got some important points of interest in here. One of which is the diary book. Think of it like the typewriter from Resident Evil. I like the idea of ink cartridges to an extent. The game isn't entirely difficult, and if you know what you're doing, then you don't need to worry about like saving as much. But I forgot about that. Oh, I'll forget about that. Okay, that's... No, I'll just... Oh, wait. I don't need the fogs anymore. I'll switch over to the... Ooh, that's Elemental Reborn folder. I'll switch over to the Demon Realm folder. Rip Cracker. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's... No problem. We can fix this. We can fix this, no problem. All I need to do is this. I'll just do Spine 1AB because you're supposed to be here, but you weren't. I guess technically you should be one... whatever, it's fine. So, this system here, the diary, which is, I guess, okay, if we were to have like a difficulty, maybe in easy mode you don't get that, but you don't, like, you get infinite saves, but in normal mode, you have to find, what is it called again? You need to find pen ink, which is a item that's only a 1x1 space. Ooh, no, that's not what I wanted to use. You gotta find pen ink, and it's small enough to allow Haley to write enough information into her diary to use it all up. In normal mode, there'd be a lot. Hard mode, there'd be a smaller amount, and in nightmare mode, there wouldn't be a whole lot. I didn't talk about difficulties in that, but I was thinking about it. Maybe when I get to that point. I don't know if I would. I think my first instinct... if I go into the Unity thing and make videos of me making games, Paint Maze first, then another particular game that has me train my 3D modeling skills, then I remake Labyrinth. But before I remake Labyrinth, I play Labyrinth for you guys to see. Then I try my hands at that once I've gotten a little bit more experience in making people and stuff like that. There's only like a few people actually in Labyrinth that I gotta make, so that's gonna be interesting to craft. Oh yeah, that's right, shadows. Whoops. Let me go back to here and do this. Alright, where was I? Yes, of course. Now, next up there's the personal lockers. Think of them like in item box. That's what I'm looking for. Item boxes. Except it's school-themed, of course, because of lockers and stuff. Why are there personal lockers in these rooms? I don't know. I have an idea to like leave tutorial notes written by Miss Himari herself, which gives you hints about something that's completely off with her. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yes, personal lockers work just like item boxes. And you put an item in, and it'll always be in there no matter what personal locker you go to. Simple explanation, I don't need to go into too much details about that. Then there is the resting station, which could be like a comfortable bench, or even a bed in the school. Could be Miss Himari's bed. Look, I know what it is. I have the plot in mind, especially given the explanation of the death. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you already know if you read the entirety of that. Oh, I can close that now that that's in there. But yes, when you rest on these things, your stamina gets fully restored. It doesn't like, it just like goes up quickly. Gives her a nice rest, you know, just a good, simple, easy rest and all that stuff. And next up, there's vending machines. Now, this isn't like Resident Evil, where you got this fat man or mysterious man all going into like this area saying, "What are you buying?" No, this is simply just like you're going around the school opening up these lootable containers and trying to look for essentially just like crafting materials, loot, and stuff like that. Right, that looks like it's a light purple. I think I'm starting to understand which color I need to use here. Anyways, in this game, you look through areas, and it's not like, it doesn't use the same, like, okay, so it uses, like, coin systems and whatnot. And quarters, stuff like that. Gives you leftover change as well, because obviously that would be stupid if it didn't. It would be more pain in the ass to, like, get out to you. And also, it would be interesting to, like, try to code a, vending machine thing with, like, mostly just coins involved. There's no cash, there's just a whole bunch of coins. So you got, like, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and I think that's really all there is. Isn't there, like, a 50 cents penny? Half penny? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Hold on. What is a 50 cent coin called? I'm sure there's a 50 cent coin. A $half? That's what it's called? Was this recent? Yeah, it looks recent. Wait, do they make 50? They don't make it anymore? Since 2002, $half have been minted primarily for annual coin sets and other may still order them for circulate. What? Okay, so they aren't existing anymore. I see. I guess that's fine. 1s, 5s, 10s, and 25s is good. No dollars. I mean, I don't know what the price for the items in the inventory machines would be. The items in the inventory machine would most likely consist of crafting items. Full-on items. Like, the traps and utilities, and probably like one of the best places to guarantee that you'll find some energy bars and energy drinks. Obviously, it would still be kind of limiting, but I guess it depends. These are like consumables, and I do kind of want this to be a big game. I would say maybe like potentially 3 hours to speedrun it if you're going for like the main objective, which has you dealing with Miss Hamari and escaping. But maybe if we want to go for 100%, 20 hours? Is that too much? I don't know. I don't exactly know. Oh, wait, no. What did I call this? Demon Rays? Because this is not Bull Bloom Lightning. This is a completely different demon. Demon Rays. I don't know what this demon's called yet. But 20 hours, maybe? If you're going for a speed run, it would probably take, maybe not 3 hours, but maybe 5. I guess it depends. Oh, wait. What direction is the shadow on you again? Oh, it is that direction. Okay, we're good. But maybe. It would most likely be it would be more lengthy because you're going to be hiding a bunch, trying to, like, do things, solve puzzles, multiple different types of puzzles. That would be a thing. I'd have to try to come up with, like, hundreds of freaking puzzles. And what's worse is I probably would be the only one making the game. Depending on if the 3 games that I make before somehow gets me noticed by a game developing studio, and they're like, hey, we want you to join us. And I'd be like, I would like to join, but is there a way I can, like, make my own projects instead of having to, like, work on others? Because I got a lot of game ideas and a lot of concepts that I want to work on. I don't know how it works. It would be nice if I can get to a point where I can just, like, get a crap ton of money and not have to worry about, like, a budget. Because that's the thing most games get ruined by, is a budget. If you have a budget, then that means that there's not a whole lot you can do if you want to make a ginormous game. If there was no need for money, and if you can just make however much you please without having to worry about money, I imagine that it would be, much more fun game, more larger, a lot more to it. I mean, obviously, some people will be like, well, the game has to end at some point. And I have all the ideas I want out into this game, so here we go. Alright, I'm going to get the shadows in, and then I'm going to talk more about the lore, since this is a very freaking, this is a very quick one. And I have some time. I'm thinking about finishing up Forbidden West, finally. I think this is the last mission. We're going into the Zenith's base right now. Spoilers, I should say. So, it feels like the last mission. I have a funny feeling it's the last mission. I'll get a revenge! Avenge! Pretty cool dude. Spoilers, but I'm not going to talk about it because we're not here for that. Right now, at least. Alright, vending machine, all that stuff, upgrades. Next up, there's crafting benches. Unlike Resident Evil, you don't have the ability to combine on the field. You need to go to crafting benches to be able to craft all the things you need to find. Keep in mind, there are no boss fights in this. I'm not playing like any actual boss fights. Maybe like Miss Hikari to an extent, but not really. Even like you hiding and avoiding her and running away from her while trying to do the big thing that requires you to get a whole bunch of things to be able to do the big thing and actually put her soul to rest and freeing the school of the curse. I mean, yeah, you go to Miss Hikari. Why do I keep saying Hikari? Himari? Yeah, Himari. I should have went for a different name, but whatever. Yeah, dealing with Miss Himari will require you to get a whole bunch of stuff first, and then trying to find her. I guess where she died originally. Her soul would probably be resting there and probably be the most strongest. There is no boss fight. So there is no technical need to craft on the fly. You can't kill any of the enemies. You're encouraged to avoid them. You are encouraged to avoid them because you are weak. You can't do anything melee related. You got a slingshot that slows them down, and that's it. It's best to prepare for the case at hand and have everything you need within the area to be able to prepare. Of course, this means that you are unable to, the only reason for you to go out and collect a whole bunch of materials is for you to, store it in the item box and grab it out of the item box and go to the crafting table. None of that make any sense. It makes more sense to have every single item in the safe room, no matter what safe room. God damn it, it's freaking... I don't know what it is. There's a hang skin. It's like a piece of skin that's hanging and having a hair cut onto it. Dead skin is what it is. Anywho's in this. There's a whole bunch of upgrades, but we're not going to talk about all of them in depth. We got flashlight upgrades that increases their range and improves their batteries. Backpack slot upgrades. There's 2 backpack slot upgrades with 2x3. There are 2 backpack slot upgrades for a 3x5, and there's 2 backpack slot upgrades. Where is it? I just lost it. Yeah, here it is. And there's 2 backpack slot upgrades for a 5x7. And I guess I could show you the backpack. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up for a quick second and open up the JPEG of where the backpack is. Yeah, I can't really see anything here. I'm gonna zoom in on the backpack. I'm still zoomed in, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Open that up. And this is a small ass backpack too. All right. That's good. I'll check on here. Okay. Here we go. So this is the backpack she's using. Go out a tiny bit. Here's the backpack. That's the collar. And this is essentially what it would be. I would think maybe a 2x3, probably be right around here or something, and then 3x5 around here, bigger pack. Somewhere around right here, open that up, getting access, all that. And then 7x whatever up here, and that's the backpack. Now, obviously, there's a little bit to show here, but this is her face. Look familiar to you? Well, not familiar, because the character who I am making this parody of, don't save, is technically not wearing a headband, I don't think. Let me actually look up an image. Okay, why are you giving me a completely different person? Am I spelling her name wrong? No, that is how it's supposed to be spelled. I don't know why the hell am I getting a duct tape, but what do you call things? Whatever. Yeah, no, she's not wearing a headband. You can't see it. You can't see it, but that is fine. Because it's up to you to guess who it is. Anyways, yeah, there's the backpack slot upgrades. 2 each, so it's a decent amount. There's also slingshot upgrades that reinforces the elastic band. High-powered battery pack for video camera, yeah, that stuff. Detonator upgrades, which increases the range of the detonator to 50 meters and allows you to place, and another upgrade that allows you to place up to 5 traps. Running shoes that increases her speed by 5%. Soft soles, which is a running shoe upgrade that reduces the amount of noise Haley makes walking around in them. Of course, this upgrade has to be applied on, like, the running shoes you can apply right then and there. Most of the upgrades that don't require you to, like, go to the workbench and, like, install it are the ones you can wear, like the reinforced sportswear stuff, which is basically just like, you know those black sports bra kind of things that, like, it's kind of like a shirt, almost, you know, but not an actual bra. Same with, like, a sports shorts that you wear underneath. Those increase damage resistance by 10% each, and if you get all of them, you get like a 20% damage resistance, which is basically just like having enemy damage. Because, okay, 25, 50, and 75, if I did my math correctly, well, if I remember the math correctly, I did do the math correctly because I did it on a calculator, damage would be 25 to 20, 50 to 40, and then 75 to 60. That's probably why that would be considered late. Yeah, it would be considered late game, the green collar thing there, so that's why I decided not to go about doing it. Look, there's like, the concept is there, but we're nowhere near actually getting to what we need to get to like make that. There's also video glasses, which allows Haley to basically see the spirits permanently without having to use a video camera. You still need a video camera for the night vision, though, so it's not completely useless. But yes, there you go. It's kind of like a big 3D Metroidvania area with a whole bunch of stuff. Because you need like the salt shot to be able to get past, like, I don't know what it is, but some sort of demon that's like a wall of flesh. The only kind of demon you can kill with salt. And then there's the UV light used to kill invisible walls, which if you were to essentially put a video camera up to those invisible walls, you would see essentially just like I don't know, maybe a whole bunch of hands or something. If you go to it, the wall, bump into it, you are stopped. You keep going into it, you'll start taking damage until you are, like, you know, held in place by invisible forces and you can't see, and then tear body apart, stuff like that. You don't want that. But, yeah. Okay, now that we've gotten most of what I wanted to talk about there explained, it's a good place to talk about, too. Give you a good idea on how most of that works. It's time to get to finishing this drawing off. We, still there? Yeah, we're still there. So, also I'm gonna look at this for a quick second and figure out. Yeah, purple, teals, pinks, right. Well, no orange, it's just purples and teal. Okay. So, Miss Himari. Is that how you would pronounce that? Himari? Okay, Google. How do you pronounce Himari? Himari. I see. Okay, Himari. Look, I can barely pronounce English half the time. You expect me to pronounce Japanese without any issues? Fool. You fool. Miss Himari. Everything started in this school as soon as she died. By what causes? We don't know just yet. But we can kick a wild guess, at the very least. I know you don't. I know at least a general idea on what occurs here. She was killed, and then many people started to go missing. Also, why am I in fog? Go to here. many people started to go missing, which caused the school to essentially shut down. And then the government came in to investigate what had been occurring. Obviously, the government failed because as soon as, let me see what direction I want to go in. This seems too bright. Yeah, that's too bright. Because wrong one. As soon as, Haley comes into the front door, government officials stuff abandoned. Maybe we can have like some blood occurring in certain areas, saying like most of the government officials were killed off. Stuff like that. And let me see. I'm gonna take most of that. Got it. But yeah, it's not a pretty sight. There might be a few survivors, but I don't want to say anything yet until I am 100% certain that yes, and we'll have someone there. Or if I decide to continue to build out that concept. Anywho's and whence. So going into it, the first instant because there's no lootable stuff yet. You're going into this area trying to look for another exit. Because you came in, realized, oh shit, I am in way too deep. Can't get out now because the door is gone somehow. And you're trying to find another exit. So this is how the scene goes in this department for Haley. I have a funny joke-esque kind of thing where some kids, because this is America, so obviously nobody's freaking respectful to any property. Isn't that right, cat? You're an American cat destroying my shit. Anyways, yes. Somebody wrote on the, whoops, that caps lock's on the wall, hold shift to sprint. Or L3 or whatever the hell console you have it on at this particular junction. Haley, of course, will make a comment on it. But when you walk a little bit further into the room, or into the hallway, because you don't go into a room yet, you're in hallways. When you walk into the hallway, a little bit further in, you look behind you, and you hear a strange noise. Okay, I don't know what the hell this sepia is. I'm gonna try to do my best to figure it out. Was this? No, that was in that direction. So, she goes in, hears a strange noise. Actually, I think that's the right one. I don't even think that is the wrong one. I gotta set this to 50 NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Is that the right one? Seems like it. Okay, cool, great. I'm not done yet, though. We're gonna keep talking. Well, I'm gonna adjust some things, actually. So, yes, she goes in to the hallway deeper, hears some strange noises faint behind her, turns around, looks for a bit, and not a jump scare, no. It's simply just Miss Hamari's new body slowly inching out towards the corner. You see a hand going here, a head slowly popping up. You see her deranged face, which I guess I can show you her face. Let me go on ahead and open that up again. We still up? Okay. This is her face. Oh, God. Oh, I pressed down. It's fine. Everything is fine. This is her face. This is her body. That's the needle going into Haley right there. In what spot? Y'all know it. No, not the vagina, the navel. You fools. Even though, good guess, all things considered. This hand over here is in the back here. I didn't make that clear enough somehow. This is in the back. Right over here, you can barely see it. I guess it's fine. But this is what she looks like now. A special revenant. One that is not affected by salt, flash, smoke, or UV. You can't do anything to stop her. So, of course, going into the school first time around, you're coming in with nothing. You have no idea what's going in. You don't have the presence of mind to bring salt with you to halt the demons, or UV lights to kill the spirits, or flashing smoke to try to slow down revenants. You don't have any of that in your mind. You're just going in with a flashlight and examining. Maybe lending a help to the government. Or just sneaking around the government. Little does she know, she was sneaking around a whole bunch of monsters. So at the end of the day, she really just screwed herself over here. Alright, I'm going to close that now. I'm going to add a little bit more to here because it's not a whole lot. Light blue area. But yes, Miss Himari, why do I keep saying Hikari? Miss Himari is this worm-like creature with dozens of flesh-like claw appendages coming out of that worm-like body. And she's fast. Faster than Haley. Obviously, this is a chase scene. All of the hallways in this particular instance, the doors are locked. You come to a three-way junction. Miss Himari comes around. If you don't go in this direction before she, comes around, she wraps around you, grabs you, and it's game over immediately. Go here, wraps around, takes a bit to get back into position, goes to here, wraps around the other hallway here. Dead end occurs here. I don't know why I'm doing it up there, because you can't see. Dead end occurs here, right over here, and then here she's coming, and you go into here, knock over a bookcase, can't get in because there's too much force, and leaves. And okay, I'll scratch you. Don't you scratch yourself, I'll scratch you. When you scratch, you catch back, or in this case, chest. Anyways, yeah. That's like the introduction. You explore a little bit of like the receptionist area, some more of like hallways and stuff, like, some rooms you can't get access to yet, blocked off areas. Explore a little bit more. I don't know how big it is, but decent size. I feel like I'm missing something here. I'm probably missing something here. Is it as purple as it could be? This is vivid lighting after all. I'm going to mess with the point a bit. So what happens when Miss Himari gets her hands on Haley, you may ask? Well, when she gets her hands on Haley, she uses her claws of the worm body to wrap around her wrists and ankles. Due to Japanese traditions, because she is a Japanese woman, she removes Haley's shoes before killing her. Because apparently something about Japanese and not having shoes on when they're dying. I don't know, I'm not superstitious. I don't really believe in religion. I create so much that I don't have the well, I still believe in the potential that there is like souls and ghosts and stuff and all that kinds of like. If my theory of there being whatever we create being true, then yes, there is a whole bunch of demons and ghosts out there, but maybe not in our universe. Could be. Whoever created our universe for whatever sick political show or, I don't know, could be just like NCIS, and we're just like the background characters that aren't paid attention to and all that stuff. It's like a strange cycle. Whatever. Anywho's in wits. Yeah, she removes her shoes. Haley wears socks. I was tempted to have her barefoot, but I like the idea of knee socks. Socks going up to her shorts. Because why not? She jabs a needle into into Haley's navel until it goes right through her. Haley screams in pure agony, which I had an idea for what the scream would sound like. Kind of similar to, I guess what Ellie sounds like from The Last of Us. I feel like that's the voice and the scream that I want to try to go for Haley. Let me see, is all my tools set? Okay, all my tools are set in back here. Effects without effects, effects without effects, but we're still talking. So yes, during the scream, Miss Himari then shoves her tongue down into her throat and has those little tendril things, which, by the way, burn like lava. And you'll see like some demons that look like they have like a big hole through their stomach and going out to their spines with like half their face all melted off. That's her victims, right? And that's a pretty big red flag there. So there's an undertone here about Miss Himari, about her being, let's say, a groomer, of course. She is not a good person, and Haley, who, Miss Himari is her favorite teacher, didn't know any of this. It's like Haley turned 18, but Miss Himari never got the chance to be able to make her move on Haley, so she doesn't know the dark truth until she goes into there. Find notes from previous students talking about her behavior and teachers as well. I imagine most of the teachers there were good, but as soon as they were killed and turned into revenants, because that's what they are. Revenants are essentially the teachers who were abducted and then killed by Miss Himari's, bloodlust towards those who condemn her. Because I don't imagine she wasn't getting along with the teachers well, but the students, no problem. Until, they turn 18. Which is weird because this is a giant school. And part of me was wondering if I wanted to have this be like just a giant high school, or, I don't know, middle school, high school combo, or all grade high schools. It depends, really. There could be, multiple things that we can do here, but I want to have, it be large enough to where there's, multiple areas. Having a kindergarten area would be terrifying, though. And a revenant there trying to protect demon children. I guess it depends. And it depends on how the story goes. We'll see what happens. But yes, Miss Himari is not good. She is very, very bad. And has these tendencies that she doesn't act upon until they become of legal age, which is still bad. I mean, yes, it makes sense. She's been teaching them ever since they were, if we go for the high school, 15. If we go for, well, no, I don't know what she teaches. She probably teaches language of some sort, Japanese culture, maybe? Which one? Can't. Either way, they were under 18 when she was teaching them, and since they turned 18, she makes her move, which is strange to say the least. Well, to an extent, if you're doing that, that is definitely very bad behavior. But if you know somebody from I don't know, is that considered weird? Because I have seen people say that's weird. You know somebody who is 16, hey, you're a cool person, and you're 24? So 5 years later, they're in their 20s, and somehow you're still generally attractive for your age. She's in her early mid-20s? Wait. No, that'd be 21. Drinking age, I don't know. In terms of meeting someone once and not formulating a friendship, then later on you meet each other again, get to know each other, then forming a romantic relationship. That feels normal. Even though it's weird that it's a big age gap, but here I am trying to not get with, but having fantasies with MILFs who are 10, 20 years older than me. So, it would be 36 or 40s. It depends on how they look in their 40s. I mean, Elaine Bennis still looked attractive until there's that. There's obviously a lot of weird age stuff even in the adult life aspect, but it really gets down to the iffy and very creepy stuff if you're still conversing with them when they are underage and then getting with them at any age, really. Is it? Where's the cutoff? Look, I don't freaking know. I don't get into relationships. My main factor over here is just to try to freaking create scenarios with characters and drawings. If I can ever get into a point where I can come across a bunch of dominatrix women's, preferably in their 20s or 30s, depending, and then yes, I'd be happy. But as it stands right now, I'm stuck in this terrible job, and I got a lot of projects I need to get done with. Speaking of which, I want to finish up Forbidden West, and we've been making this go on a little bit longer, talking about the story of the game. But yes, there's the game idea that I have in mind. We have, that's all. I'll go back here. We have this game concept that we can make at some point in some particular point in time. I have no idea when I'll be able to actually get to it, but I like to explore the concept at some point of making my own horror game, but bigger and better, and have some form of, like, make it look like it would be a AAA game. Well, nowadays a AAA game means it's broken on the first day, then fixed. I don't know. Anyways, thank you all for watching and listening. Mostly listening, because this guy right here, not that much. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe for more, and of course check out that there playlist. See all the other art time videos we made. Anywho's and wits. Without further ado, okay, the previous episode of Art Time lies right here on his hand, resides, I mean, the cat ruined everything, and the most previous episode of Sonic Adventures 2. Alright, folks, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.